Welcome to Normal Game Couch. Welcome to episode 8 of Spintires Mudrunner. I find that I just want to call it Mudrunner. I even have it under M in my alphabetized games on the shelf. Yeah, so today we're going to be bringing some more lumber around. We have 3 out of 8 points here. I'll probably finish off that mill, and like I said yesterday, probably put a good dent in the northwestern mill. Right, so I just want to get my bearings here. We want to go back to the nearest garage. That would probably take us to that one, though, wouldn't it? Let's see. Recovering garage. Yeah, I don't want to go to that one. I think it goes to the nearest one. So we just need to try to do that when we're closer to that garage. This is a nightmare to get through, though. Alright, we'll just recover in garage. Why not? We have a B131 out there. Let's switch to that B131. Put the, let's see, log carrier on. And hit up this log station. Okay. That sounds good to me. Just gotta turn around, that's all. So, reflecting on the previous episode, I gotta say, we got kind of philosophical and rather deep. And, you know, sometimes that happens. I think the truth is I was kind of tired yesterday. And, because I had woke up at... It must have been about 4:30 yesterday in the morning, and I had not taken a nap, and you know, by the time I streamed it was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night. I don't remember the exact time, but I had been up for a long time. And in a previous episode I even made reference to a YouTube video that I saw about a guy who was a trucker, and his company was making him, you know, make his deliveries, even though he was like totally not. He couldn't even keep his eyes open, and I kind of feel like I don't want to be so bold as to say I feel like I was in the same place, because I wasn't. You know, this is a video game. I have the option of sleep. You know, it's a completely different experience, a completely different situation, I mean. But you know, I hesitate to even go there in a video game. I can't imagine some guy on a real road, you know, at 3:30 in the morning having to make these deliveries after, you know, 17 hours of straight driving and not being able to keep his eyes open. Alright, so here we are at the log station. Load up with lumber here. We want the short logs. By the way, just as an aside, I might read a couple of these. There's something called the Little Lighten contest, where people compete to write the worst first sentence in 25 words or less of the worst imaginary novel. And I have a few of them here, and I thought I'd like to read some. There's a contest that goes on. It's an annual contest, and some of these are really funny. So, like I said, the idea is the contest is you want the worst possible sentence for a novel that doesn't exist. Like the idea is you sit down and you read this first sentence, the novel's opening salvo, and you're like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna enjoy this book. So here's a couple of them. I don't know who judges these or whatever. It seems like it's just one guy, but here's one. I'll open with this one. This one's pretty good. I'll open with this one. The girl with the vegan pork regarded me with eyes more kind than the non-violence on her plate. Here's another one. Eric-san had only one goal in life. Make Kamiko-chan his waifu-chan. That one's pretty bad. I would not want to read that novel. Let's see. Commander B.G. Robinson is very feminine and graciously endowed. Everything she has two of are perfectly matched, coordinated, and move with a wonderful grace that is called woman. Our eyes are always pointing at things we are interested in approaching, or investigating, or looking at, or having. These are like Jaden Smith tweets. Okay. Probably read some more later. That's pretty good. I like that. I can't remember the best way through this. Man, this freaking blog post. I wish that wasn't there. Makes this super difficult. Log kiosk. Wish that was a log station. Let's see, I think... Is this the route we want to take? In the lumber mill. I'll tell you, man. They don't make it easy. You know, it's just the layout. It's like the worst possible layout. I think I've said something similar before regarding the maps of these games. Like, I get that it's a video game and you want to make it difficult for the player. I get that. But, you know, these layouts are completely unrealistic. Like, who would design a logging camp like this? You know, like a logging site. But like I said on the last episode, you know, it's all just kind of, you know, you have to realize that it's, you know, none of this is a big deal. You'll get through it. You know. It's literally driving the correct configuration of truck from point A to point B. That's the whole game. I'm okay with that. It's, you know, it's escapism, man. Like, this is not a job I could even have in real life. You know, I'm willing to, you know, here's the thing. I'd be willing to do this in real life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I would be willing to, my dream job is drawbridge operator. You know, for like boats, like when a boat wants to come through. And that sounds like a joke, but that is literally my dream job. There's a drawbridge in my town, and I think the waiting list for that job is actually super long. Like it's like a 3-year waiting list for that job. But how great is it, man? You know, you pack up your Game Boy or your Switch or something, and well, that would be my biggest downfall probably, is I'd be trying to play some Mario Kart or something, and a boat would be coming through, and like, I don't know. Well, the thing is, like, I think if you're, you know, how to say it, like, I think if you manage to balance it properly, you can read a book or play a handheld game or something and still do your job. I used to work the radio board for football games at my local station, and I did not care about football at all. You know, I don't even really know the rules, but at the time I was playing a Pokemon game on my Game Boy Advance. I'm trying to remember which one specifically. It might have been Leaf Green. I think it might have been Leaf Green. Yeah, this is the way I usually go. I recognize this area. But you would think, well, okay, so you need to pay attention to the football game, right? Because you're operating the board for it and everything. But here's what's cool about operating the board during a football game. There's like background chatter. There's like a second channel that comes through that you listen to on your headphones, and they tell you, you know, when the break is coming. They'll be like, we have 5.5 minutes left until the break. Queue up your local spots now, that kind of thing. And it's funny because, like, they get like jokey with it, like you'll hear them crack jokes and stuff that only like the board operators will hear, and it's kind of like this secret transmission that, like, you know, people don't know about, but it goes on behind the scenes. I suspect that there is something similar, not you know, identical, but something similar for the drawbridge. Not exactly like a fail-safe, but like there has to be like an alert system, right? Like, because I've been on top of that bridge, and I think there's like a certain angle, especially over the far side, where there'd be like, you wouldn't see the boat, right? You know, depending on how high your perch is. But, you know, anyway, I always wanted that job. I think that would be a great job. You know, like I said, I don't care about football, but I had a lot of fun running the board for football games. I mean, if you knew me, you would know I'm the last guy that should be doing that. But, you know, it wasn't like I was doing color commentary or something. There's a podcast. Maybe I'll listen to an episode after this. I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's a couple guys that don't know anything about basketball attempting to provide color commentary for basketball games. I think It's women's teams, I think. I think they get like Aubrey Plaza in to play and probably do some on, you know, on microphone stuff as well. Speaking of the radio station, you know, as an aside, me and a coworker at the time, we had a weekly show called Insomniac Radio, and you know, it's basically you know, pop culture news, and my input tended to veer towards, like, you know, the video game realm. I think we even had like a video game segment where like I rattled on for about 5 minutes about video game news. I don't remember. I think we might have had like a E3 episode. Not like specifically, not like the whole episode was based around E3, but I think I remember talking about E3 at length during one of the broadcasts. And that was fun. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to get political here, but it was a political station, and the station's politics did not match my own. But, you know, that's the thing, man. You stay professional, and you just do the job, and you know, you get it done, man. And that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, even though I goofed off and you know, I played my Pokemon games or whatever, and I'm talking about like how I would want to bring my Switch to the other job, like, I wouldn't let it interfere. Like, I'd stay professional and do my job, you know what I mean? So oh, rolling backwards. Come on, get up there. Pulling trees down. What is moving me backwards? I don't understand what's moving me backwards. This isn't even that bad of a spot. What was happening? That was bizarre. I think some wonky physics were going on just then. Man, I tell you. Okay, so that's 6 out of 8 points. We need 2 more points. Let's cruise back to garage, or we'll just switch to the other B131 and skip night. I had always been the kind of woman to put my career first. But as I prepared to abandon my crying children to go to work for the 100th time, a thought struck me. Was this his plan for me? Note that the H is capitalized in his. You find a cave. You're a male half-elf. The female full elves inside try to restrain their libidos, but that's like butterfly nets trying to stop 100 miles per hour of uncooked rice. There's so much poor grammar in that, it's perfect. Agent Gunner Storm closed his steely gray eyes and pictured the erotic sphere of Lady Liberty's bare breast. I'm not going to read the rest of that one. My lame stream friends told me to start dating again, but I knew the jet fuel of love couldn't melt the steel beams of my heart. Texas cheap shot Jack, the famous Newark poker player, sighed about his life. Matters of the heart, unlike the hearts he held in his hand, could not be folded so easily. That's a good one. Alright, man. Let's see. Boom. Boom. On the paved road. Man, I got B-131s everywhere. Why do I have 3 B-31s here? Man, would that I could just hit up that log kiosk. But no, I gotta go all the dumb way into the log station. Good enough. Close enough. Gotta be careful here. There's some wild angles. Get some speed going. Or not. Yeah, I've been getting into podcasts lately, man. I think I mentioned that on a previous episode. Yeah, I definitely did. We were on the island and I was talking about John Hodgman and Maine. Yeah, I miss watching TV. I mean, not really. Like, I still, you know, I'll watch an episode of an anime here or there, you know. Currently watching Gurren Lagann with the girlfriend. I think she likes it. I mean, we've only just started. But a friend of mine cites Gurren Lagann as his favorite anime of all time. And years ago, that friend, my girlfriend, and I, the three of us, went to see Death Note in theaters. This is the Japanese live action adaptation of the anime. And there were some people in front of us talking about an anime. Now, at the time, neither my girlfriend or I had seen Gurren Lagann, and I think the friend that was with us was off getting popcorn or something like that. So when they started talking about Gurren Lagann, we didn't know what they were talking about, and we didn't catch the name of the series that they were talking about. But the way they were talking about it sounded awesome. They were talking about like these people that, like, they had like these huge fights that got to the point where ultimately they began throwing galaxies at each other, like using galaxies as projectile weapons. And that sounded amazing. And of course, my girlfriend and I, both having a certain level of social anxiety, or at least I do. I can't speak for her. I assume that that is the case based on our inability to ask these people what anime they were talking about. It sounded great. And then, years after that, I watched Gurren Lagann by myself and realized, oh, that's the anime they were talking about. And, I thought it was great. And now, watching it with a girlfriend. So we've come full circle. It's it's like a product of its time. It's very bro. Like I don't know. Like I like it, and I think it's going to hold up. And I think once we get like 5 or 6 episodes in, I think she'll begin to grok it. But man, it is super bro. But I love it. It's good. It's just you have to give it some time to simmer, man. The animation, though, oh my god, it's so slick. This is the same anime studio that did Kill la Kill, which is also another one that you have to let simmer. Like, you can't show someone the first 3 episodes of Kill la Kill and expect them to be like, yeah, that was good. Like, no, you are not gonna like Kill la Kill unless you really kind of watch the whole thing. The thing about Kill la Kill is like it has like a lot of what people would call fan service, and I feel like there's a time and a place for that kind of thing, and I gotta say, Kill la Kill seems like the time and place for that sort of thing. It's kind of like a alien symbiote that comes down to Earth, and it's like in the form of threads, so naturally people make clothing out of it, and it kind of works, similar to like Venom or Carnage or something like that. This one, and giving these people superpowers, and as a result, there's like a rebel faction that consists of nudists. So there's like a lot of fan service in Kill la Kill. But I'm telling you, man, after, I don't know, like you get halfway done through the series, and like it becomes narrative at that point. Like you stop thinking about it. I told my girlfriend, she hasn't seen the majority of Kill la Kill either, but I told my girlfriend, I imagine it's similar to how like backstage at like a fashion show or something, you have all these women who are getting changed and everything, and like on paper it seems like you would react one way, or like you would be thinking of it a certain way, but then when you're in it, it doesn't, it I feel like I painted myself into a corner here. Like the backstage nudity of like a production is not a sexual thing, and that's kind of how I feel about Kill la Kill. Like it's not even a sexual thing. Even if the on-screen characters think that it is, it totally is not. And like if you can get over that hurdle, you can really enjoy Kill la Kill. Similarly, Gurren Lagann has a bro hurdle, and I think if she sticks with Gurren Lagann enough, and she gets over that bro hurdle, I think she'll really like it. And in both cases, you can really enjoy it on account of the animation. Both Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill have fantastic animation. I'm trying to figure out how I want to get through this here. I think I took the dumb way. I think I should have went to the right. Whatever. We'll get there. So yeah, that's my short review of Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. Both worth checking out. I can recommend both. You know, for mature audiences only, of course. Uh, they're both on Netflix. I mean, I know Gurren Lagann is. Last I knew, Kill la Kill was also. My favorite anime of all time has to be Cowboy Bebop. I mean, come on. You know, I hate to be that Toonami kid that, like, grew up watching it or whatever. You know, to tell the truth, if that was going to be the basis for how I select my favorite anime, it would have to be Fist of the North Star then. But since Fist of the North Star is not my favorite anime, then that is clearly not the basis for which I am selecting said anime. I grew up watching Fist of the North Star. That was really kind of my first let's make this a thing we do every week anime. I had seen anime before that, of course. You know, I mean, you want to get really early. I grew up watching Robotron. You know, I don't know if you want to count Transformers. Some people do because it was animated by a Japanese studio, but then again, so was Heathcliff. So I don't know where you want to draw that line, but you know, that's all muddy waters, man. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to, like, let's sit down and make sure we watch anime every week, my first was Fist of the North Star, because there was a station. It was a premium cable station called Encore. I don't know if they still exist or not. And even if they do still exist, I don't know if they still exist in the same way. But they split it into, like, different genres. So you'd have, like, Encore comedy, Encore drama, Encore action. And I think it was a Friday night on Encore action. I want to say every Friday night from 10 to midnight, or it could have been 9 to 11, or like 8 to 10. But I know it was a 2-hour block of anime every Friday night on Encore action. And they had Fist of the North Star. And man, I super got into it. And you know, that was like my first, like, anime as a thing anime. But you know, then Toonami came around, and it was all about Cowboy Bebop at that point. I think it was Inuyasha on Toonami. I had a friend that was super into Inuyasha. I tried watching it, I couldn't get into it. I tried. I couldn't get into it though. But yeah, man, Fist of the North Star. Encore action. Toonami, of course, as a big Daft Punk fan myself, introduced me to Interstellar 5555, the Daft Punk anime. I remember the lead up to that. They were actually advertising it pretty heavily, and it was cool to see that on TV. I have it on DVD today. I don't have the Blu-ray. I don't even know if it's available on Blu-ray. What was that? What was the name of that live-action Daft Punk movie? The one with the weird melty faces. I can't remember the name of that. I have that on DVD also. Oh, Electroma. That's a pretty cool movie too. Some really good cinematography in that. I like the scenes where they're going through, like, the rural countryside, and there's like a wedding going on, and there's like children on the swing set, and Like, I don't know, people are out at a picnic, or people are, you know, wearing business suits, shaking hands outside of like an office building. But the catch is they're all wearing Daft Punk helmets. It's very cool looking. And, like, oddly, the only people not wearing Daft Punk helmets in that movie are Daft Punk. They're wearing people helmets. So, yeah, very, very cool movie. Electroma. I think that's the name of it. It's been a long time since I saw that one. But yeah, Interstellar 5555 is where it's at, man. This is where I started going backwards before, isn't it? Parking brake. Release. Okay. So I need to make better use of my parking brake. I'm going to avoid that fallen tree and go to the left, because I don't want to bottom out on that thing. I think that happened last time too. I'm retreading the old familiar ground. You know, I think there comes a point, especially in repetitive Let's Plays like this one, where it becomes less about the on-screen action and more about the commentary. So, I don't know, am I doing a good job? Let's prove that I'm not by reading more of these little Lighten winners. A tear rolled down her face like a tractor. "David," she said tearfully, "I don't want to be a farmer no more." Oh my God. They're getting worse and worse. I guess because I'm working down towards the winter. The puddle Detective Amelia Stone stepped into reminded her of a pool of blood, or sins as dark as the muddy water. "It looks like this continent is out of water," I said in Antarctica, as a rookery of penguins waddled thirstily by. The brute was reminiscent of an ancient Ethiopian warrior, bristling with muscle and melanin, yet Charlie was unfazed. Unhesitantly I skydove, commending my body into the lightweight but capable hands of my parachute. They're pretty bad. Alright, so we got this one done. This lumber mill is done. Now we have to figure out the route for this lumber mill. And this is where it gets dumb. I feel like we're going to want to start here at this log station, take this road. I guess we can cross here and then get on this thing. Then we can't go through the block post, so we have to go up and around. Man, this is dumb. This is a dumb layout. We have a B-31 right there. Let's switch to that B-31. Is that one? Yes, it is. I remember this one. so let's hit this garage. Wait, where am I going? Oh, I see. I don't have a lot of fuel in this one, despite being a fuel truck. 84 liters. Maybe we're not going that far. This is the North Star, man. You know, I remember, and this has come up a few times in my personal life as of late, but I remember going to Camelot Music at the mall. I want to say 90, 91, and seeing anime VHS tapes for sale. I'm talking like one movie, like Akira, for $70. And that sounds ridiculous now, but I totally remember that. And, you know, at the time it was a novelty, you know, and people were willing to pay a lot of money to get their, you know, their anime fix, man, because it was like this kind of thing. Like, I remember going to Camelot Music and seeing the, you know, we can just teleport to the garage. I remember going to Camelot Music and seeing like the anime section, like, you know, like Akira, Robotron, Fist of the North Star, what have you, on VHS for these huge prices, and they were kept next to adult movies, so like everything would be like kind of obscured or hidden from view. And I guess the takeaway from that is that anime was thought to be for adults. So you'd have this company, the company at the time was Manga, like that was the name of the company, and they put out all this anime in the States. But it was all like super violent stuff, and you know, they were like the only game in town, so that's kind of why it got put off to the side with, like, you know, obscured by like you know, like cards in front of the rack that would hide the front of the DVDs, or I'm sorry, VHS tapes at the time. Yeah, man. Wait, we want to uninstall all that junk. We want to install why is that unavailable? Oh, the spare wheel is in the way. I gotcha. Maybe we'll try to do 4 this time. So we need the medium log cart. Okay. We'll see how this goes. Go get this, go get these logs. If you're just joining the stream, thanks for checking out Normal Game Couch. took that turn too tight. But everything worked out. Getting some major speed going downhill. Do some night driving. I probably should have waited out the night, but too late now. I mean, I could still do it, but I don't want to do it outside of a gas station because then I lose gas. It seems to me like you could just turn the engine off, but what do I know? Getting kind of Alan Wakey out. Some of these vehicles don't steer back to center. Like, it's all manual, which is kind of strange for a video game, but I guess it's a simulation, so. Man, I guess if you were playing this game with a wheel, it would be like an incredible experience. Especially if you were playing on hardcore mode. I'm sure it's compatible with a wheel. I mean, it's got to be at least on PC, right? On PC, this would be compatible with a wheel. Who knows about PS4, though? I do like me some paved roads. Alright, where am I turning in at? Past this shrub. There we go. So if I'm carrying 4 points, I'll only have to make the run to this mill twice. But, you know, it's risk-reward. You know, I might spill the logs or something and lose that effort. So we do the more difficult thing, it might pay off. Or we do the easier thing that definitely would pay off, but it would take a lot longer. You know. We'll just do it, man. See what we can see. I'm glad the logs, or the trees rather, around this stream seem to be in the ground, you know, strongly. Because I'm going to have to winch my way through this several times. Deep-rooted trees. Coming up on the log station up here. It's a nice night. You're an owl. It's a shame there's no wildlife in here, you know, like deer running about or something. You know, that's not what this game's about, and I get that, but, you know, throw an Easter egg in, man. I think I mentioned like a Sasquatch before, GTA style. You know, who's to say there's not? You know, I don't know. I'm not an expert at this game or anything. Alright, man. I feel like the next leg of this is gonna take a very long time to move these logs from point A to point B. So I'll tell you, we'll load them up now, and we'll do that on the next episode. So thanks for watching Normal Game Couch. See you next time.